Hi everyone, and welcome back. So today we're going to be going over trend lines, which is a fascinating subject. Okay, you're all looking at me. I'm seeing it in my mind's eye, like, you're a teacher. Can we trust you? Probably not. Let's be honest here. Okay. Now, hopefully you've been reading along with the articles I've asked to, and you're already like, yes, Skynet, AI. He had all these articles about it, so we're about to build some sort of artificial intelligence inside of Excel. That's not the case. The big thing is that all those cool things you read about use machine learning. And the simplest form of machine learning is simply fitting a line. So if you can figure out the slope of a bunch of dots, that's machine learning. So in this case, we're going to be doing what we can call a trend line. That's what Excel calls it. What direction is the data trending? Is it up, down, flat? You'll find out. So we have this chart right here. Now, if you're looking at this data, it might seem like the business is doing fairly well. I mean, it's going up. Okay, great. However, some months it's going up a little bit more than others. It's not perfectly smooth. Now, you can just say like, okay, we're going to do things the way we've been doing them. But in most businesses, you want to expand. Expansion means you have to have an idea of what's coming next. So the simplest way we could have done this is just to fit a line. We take an average right here, and we say that's what's going to happen in the future. Now, if you look at this, that's not really all that accurate because it's way over predicting it in the past, and it seems like it's under predicting it past this point somewhere between September and January. So that could work. That could work, but there's got to be a better way. Now, the second one would be to have a linear trend line. Now you're wondering, like, well, how do you make a trend line? You've been jumping through this. I will get there, I promise. So in this one, we've fit a straight line to it, and you see that fits the data a lot better. So you know, it goes up, it kind of matches it. It's under predicting a little bit down here at the bottom. It's, and it's under predicting right here at the top too. And it's over predicting kind of in the middle. But in general, this might give you a little bit more confidence, saying, you know what? Income is increasing. Let's take on a new employee. Let's buy a second food truck. All kinds of neat things could happen. Now, luckily for me, I don't have to do anything too magical here. Excel has this built in for me. And it can even give me the equation and something called the R-squared value, which we'll learn about a little bit later. Both of those are very important. Okay. Now, if we're trying to compare them, I would say this straight line that's increasing is way better than the average. Now, the bad thing, though, is models are only as good as the data you have. So if I extend that trend line we had here, explaining like what it thought was going to happen, well, you see that it thought it was going to keep on increasing. But if I put in more real data, you see that actually it was cyclical. So every model you make is going to be limited by the data you can put into it. The more data you have, the more of a chance you have of having a good model. So more data is usually a good thing. There's something called overfitting. We can get to that later, but more data, typically a good thing. And the second thing you need to think about is when you have more data, you need to reassess your current models. You can't just say, well, it worked once. It should work again. Because things change. You have to keep on updating your models to take into account what's happening. That's what's going on with forecasts. If you look at the weather forecast, it changes constantly. It's kind of obnoxious. Well, they said it was going to be sunny this week. Downpour. Look at the weather. Well, now they're saying it's going to be rainy. I wonder if they just looked outside. But no, there's new data that came in. Forecast changed. And are they right all the time? No, but no model is. Okay. So we're going to keep on going here. You're still like, where's the trend lines? How do we do this trend line stuff? We'll get there. We'll get there. I promise. It's just a little bit later on. But the last thing I want to talk to you about is that you can find important underlying physical properties using your trend lines. For example, if we look right here, this is some sort of rate constant for a reaction. We'll say it's the reaction of methane with oxygen. And as you can see, we fit a line to it. It's this nice straight line. It looks straight. It's actually extremely curved. I've just scaled this nicely. And from this, we can get a slope. And we can fit an equation to this. And if we compare that to the theoretical equation, we can solve. So we can actually look at this and say, oh, well, the A right here, whatever that is, it's called a pre-exponential constant, is 1 e to the negative 12. And this activation energy right here, I can solve for that because I know what the number is in front of this. So between those two, I can find out these important parameters of this rate constant. And this is actually very, very close to the real rate. Okay, so if I want to summarize, two things you're going to do with these trend lines. The first is you're going to use it to fit your data to figure out what's going to happen in the future. The second is you're going to fit your data to figure out some sort of physical property like density or gravity. There's all kinds of different things you can calculate. So between those two, that's what you're going to be doing. And I know you're like, well, we didn't do anything in Excel. Well, we have to talk sometimes. So we're going to end it here. And next time we'll jump into how you actually make a trend line. See you next time. Bye.